Call City of Maplewood Heritage Preservation Commission to order. This is Thursday, July 10, 2025. It is 7 p.m. I'd like to welcome everyone. And first we'll do the roll call. Bob Cardinal here. Richard Curry. Here. John Gasper.
Here.
Christy Reese. Laura Koski.
Here.
David Hughes. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 present. And then Pete Boulay, he's...
Well, he's not members, he's
technically ex officio, so he could join our meetings, join in the discussion, but he can't vote.
Okay, very good. Good clarification there. Okay, approve of the agenda. Anything anyone wants to do with the agenda here? Laura, do you have something? You're okay?
No, no comment.
Okay, John?
Nope.
Richard?
No, not tonight.
Okay. So approve of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Approve the minutes for May 8th, 2025. Everybody have the minutes? I've got them. Looks pretty good to me. Richard, do you have anything?
No, I don't have any minutes.
John?
Nope.
Laura?
Nope.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes as prepared?
I motion.
I second it.
In a second, minutes were prepared by Joe, our staff. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Okay, move on to update, Board of Commission review. Assistant City Manager Darrell. David, or Joe, would you like to introduce Assistant City Manager?
Yes, thank you. As kind of a maintenance issue, we've decided to go through and just review every board and commission that helps govern the city, making sure that what they're doing is still relevant, making sure our recruitment process is still meeting with the times, and ensuring that they have the support they need. So this is an informal conversation. Mr. Darrow will then put together a more formal presentation for City Council with some recommendations for all of the commissions overall, and council will act from there. So with that, I'll open it up to Assistant City Manager Darrow.
Thank you so much, Joe, and good evening, everyone. Thank you, and it's nice to meet you all and see you.
Mike.
Yeah, I'm talking into it, and the light is on. So,
The light is on?
yeah.
She must not have the volume up.
Okay. Oop, testing one. There we go. All right.
You gotta cut it.
Yeah, it's first time here. Anyway, thank you, and it's great to be here. As Joe said, we began this process probably 3 or 4 months ago in talking to the council.
Darrell, I'd like to interrupt you.
Sure.
And Christy Reese just showed up, so we'd like Christy to come forward, and she is in attendance. Thank you. We have 5 out of our 6 here. Thank you, Christy. Welcome. We'll let you sit down and get ready. And so we're going to let the assistant, we've already had a roll call, and we approved the minutes. And we're going to talk with the assistant city manager, Mr. Darrow. And now I will return the mic to you.
Well, thank you, and welcome. As I was saying, we began this process in just general conversations with the council about 4 months ago. And during that time, I had mentioned to them in collaboration with City Manager Sable that, and at the council's direction, that we would come out and meet with our boards and commissions. Over the last couple months, I've had the privilege to meet with all of our boards and commissions. You're the last one, and so I'm excited to be here tonight. And as Joe said, no heavy lifting tonight. We want to get a good understanding from you on how things are going, the tools that you need to be successful in your role. I want to talk about just efficiencies and those kinds of things. And then, as Joe just said, the plan is to come back to the council probably next month or in September with kind of findings And then I'll report back once again to you, most likely in the next couple months. But first, as I've started with each of the boards and commissions, on behalf of our council and our mayor and city manager Sable, thank you for doing what you do. Nobody's getting rich off of being in these meetings. It's a beautiful evening tonight, and there's many other things that I'm sure many of you or all of you would like to be doing, but you're here as serving a purpose, and we thank you for that. So that's the first thing that we wanted to do, is just to say thank you for the work. I wanted to talk a little bit about any tools that you need. Hello.
Mr. Darrow, I'm going to interrupt you again.
That's okay.
So we're going to welcome Pete Boulay. Pete Boulay is on our commission as a, what's it called, Joe?
He's an ex officio member, meaning he could participate, and because we are recognized by the state, they allow folks who have special expertise in an area to continue serving on the board, even though they live outside the city's jurisdiction. And because of Pete's wealth of knowledge about Maplewood's specific history, we decided that if he wanted to, stay on as an ex officio member.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Joe. Welcome, Pete. And also, we have a city council member here. Welcome. Are you our liaison council?
I am. I'm excited
Okay.
to be here to join all of you and to learn a little bit more about the historical side of Maplewood. So
Okay, if you could tell us your name.
John. Thank you, everyone. So Councilmember Chanbury Lee. So thanks for having me here. Super excited for this committee. You know, I'm a history junkie myself, so I love hearing. Anytime I hear anything historical, it's candy to my ears. So I'm really excited. I've heard some great presentation from Pete, so I look forward to hearing some of the great stuff you guys will be talking about here.
Well, welcome, and feel free to interrupt us if
Will do.
you like. Okay? Back to Assistant City Manager Darrell.
Yeah, you just call me Mike, too. As I was saying, thank you for the work that you're doing. A couple questions that I have are there things that you feel that you could need or need from the city to be successful in the work that you do?
Are you asking us
Yep.
now to
Yes.
bring something forward? Anyone have anything that they want to suggest? Anyone?
I'll just start out by saying one of the small requests that has been made, and we haven't actually followed up on it, but I know other commissions have made it, is the name tag. Mr. Carey, Commissioner Carey he still has his name tag from the original commission. So one of the things I think this commission was hoping for was name tags, especially when it comes to reaching out into the community. One of the other things that we had talked about as a possibility is, from a recruitment standpoint, is having the commission, and I've invited all commission members to attend our events. One of the things we haven't done is formalize to say, hey, do you want to set up a booth and represent the Maplewood Heritage Preservation Commission at our Friday fireworks, at our Celebrate Summer, at our trunk or treat kind of thing. So those are a couple of things that other folks had suggested that from other commissions that might be helpful. And I know I've heard from this commission on that specifically, but I don't want to interrupt. I know it's your.
I think that's great, because I actually have it on my list here, and you're the first group to hear this. But we are going to be providing all board and commissions members with name tags. And then we're also going to provide you with a stipend for a shirt, Maplewood logoed shirt. And so we actually have a meeting tomorrow. But that was, as Joe said, some of the feedback. I know, as you've heard, we've done a stipend. And it was not surprising that, we want to recognize folks. And some of that is to show our appreciation, but also, as Joe just said, to encourage members to attend events and be ambassadors for the work that you do, and whether that's at the upcoming Fall Fest or Trunk or Treat, so on and so forth. So look for those updates. Lois Knutson and I are meeting tomorrow to get the specifics, but you are the first group to hear that, and I'll be sending out an email to Joe and to the other staff liaisons in the coming days with that information, getting sizes and so forth. Other than that recognition, do you feel like you're getting the agendas and information in a timely manner to make decisions?
Anyone have any thoughts they want to share? Guess not. Go ahead.
And then the last thing that we wanted to talk with the council is just the efficiencies of our meetings. And I believe this group meets 6-7 times a year.
We typically meet every other month.
Yeah. Has that been the right amount? Should it be less, more? What are your thoughts there?
Well, first off, we'll say that we used to meet monthly, and then we went to quarterly, and that wasn't enough. And so Pete kind of suggested maybe we do it bi-monthly. And that's the current schedule. How do everybody feel about that? Joe, how do you feel about it?
I think it's a good mix.
Okay. Laura?
I also think it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Christie?
No, I definitely think so. Yeah, that's worked.
Richard?
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Any other questions or things that you'd like me to report back to the council?
I make a suggestion that one of us go to city council meeting and maybe rotate so we at least show up and know what's going on.
Okay.
Richard?
On that end, if we're going every, at a monthly meeting, we'd be going there'd be about 4 months or 4 meetings between everybody, or our commission. It wouldn't be like some of them meet every month, and they'd have a set date every month to go. And technically, we could, because we're supposed to be setting up historic districts and other stuff. And I gave,
So I'm going to interrupt you, Richard. I think we want to give city manager some thoughts, and then they can volley them back and forth, and we can have discussions later. But he's looking for some feedback. So that's one suggestion, John. Richard, did you have any other?
well, it's a good idea. I sat out in that area for a whole couple of years.
Okay. Pete, do you have any thoughts on that?
It's a good idea, I mean, to go to the council meetings all the time, if you can. I mean, you learn a lot, so, yeah, I mean, if you can. I mean, it's always good to report back to the commission if there's something.
Not forced, but you can go anytime you want.
And the other way we could facilitate, and you're more than well, obviously, as residents of Maplewood, you're more than welcome to attend council meetings at any point, but I'm also willing to, they are published on the website, the agenda, and I'm willing to push out the agenda of the council meeting. And if there is a specific item or issue that you want to report back on, let me know what that issue is. Hey, and I'll report, because I go to all the council meetings too, for the most part. And if there's a specific agenda item that you're interested in, I could easily take notes and report back. Part of my job in communications is to kind of have a sense of what's going on in the city. So again, you're more than welcome to attend the council meetings, but if there's just an agenda item you're interested in, let me know. I'll take notes. I'll report back.
So let's give some feedback to Joe. Would everybody like to receive the information and the agenda for the council meetings? Richard?
Come on. I can't hear you. You
Laura?
gotta turn the volume up.
Laura, would you?
Isn't most of that available online prior to the meeting?
Well, yeah, but if it was sent to us, it was email, it'd remind us about it. So I'd like to receive that. Anybody else? John?
Get sent an agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you
John
just send you a
would-
link to the agenda. I mean, if you really want the packet, you could have the packet too.
Well, not the packet,
Yeah.
but the agenda.
Because it's published every Wednesday prior to the meeting. So the The 14th is our next council meeting, so everything on that council agenda got published yesterday.
Okay, very good. Okay, anything else? Laura, anything?
Oh, as far as just resources with the city, and it's something that I'm actually presenting on later today, but mostly we have a lot of information that we could be sharing online with people who are interested in Maplewood history. So I know we've discussed things that we want to be able to put up on the city website that would be informational or interesting. And we have, every commission has their own little page of like who's in the commission and stuff. If we could at least start putting up links and things. We're working on generating information that can be linked to that page, basically. Like we're working on a timeline, and later today I'll be showing a web viewer of historic site locations in Maplewood that we'd like to get up on the website, which we're already talking about that with, and we know Bowman Mink is managing the GIS and all that stuff. So that's where my interest is helping get more information up on the city's HPC website so people can actually engage with it some more.
Thank you for that.
Anything?
And I think I've mentioned before, I'm new to Maplewood, and that was one of the things I went to search for was on the website to find out as much as I could, because I was wanting to, one, just know as much as I could, but also how to be involved.
Yeah.
So I think echoing that aspect of having it accessible, I definitely feel the same.
Thank you for that.
One thing I was looking at, thinking about, in past years, the whole group here went on a tour, like of the St. Paul Waterworks. The city supplied us with a van. We're looking at 2 different places. It would be nice to be able to take a van and instead of having a meeting here, take the van and go to the KSTP building, if they would let us in.
Yeah. That's great feedback. Thank you. One thing, just as far as communication, I know Joe said encourage folks, and it's a public meeting, so anyone that wants to attend a meeting can, and he had indicated that he'll send the link. But one of the comments that we've received from several of the other commission and board members is just being kind of proactive or maybe a once a month or once a quarter update in addition to the Maplewood Living, but just, here's some development projects just to report out. Some of the feedback that I heard specifically from the Planning Commission was, we'd like to know kind of what the final outcomes were from some of the whether it was a conditional use permit or a development application. And so I'll be working with Joe and others to kind of talk about, what does that look like? Is it a monthly, is it a quarterly update to boards and commissions to spotlight the work that you do and the work that other board and commission members are doing too. So that's some of the feedback that we've gotten in addition to name tags and badges and looking at websites. It's how do we communicate back? The last thing is recruitment for the next generation of board and commission members. And some of that is, the profound gratitude that we have for you that serve, but also to get folks to attend events on behalf of this group and others so that the next generation of community members can be there. I serve on a commission in my hometown of St. Paul, and I just was at a meeting, a summer event, where we promoted kind of the work that we do as a commission member. So I know kind of in my role in the city that I live in, the value and the commitment that it takes to. And so we'll report back. You'll see me again in the next couple months. And again, at that meeting, you can just call me Mike. And again, on behalf of the council, the mayor and city manager, Sable, thank you really for the work that you do and the time that you take.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Darrow. Thank you.
The other thing that we used to do would be, I think it was Planning Commission, they set up a bus tour. And all the commissions and the council would all get on there and they'd hit everything. And at someplace in the middle, they'd have a box lunch or something. That we all knew what was going down. So we're all we're all on the same page. We're not, this one is doing this project versus this one, and instead of pulling everybody apart, you're getting them all together.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We'll move on to number 2, update on parcel designate KSTP building and Forest Lawn Memorial Park Mausoleum. David, or Joe.
Okay, so at the last meeting, we kind of culled down from our list of potentially historic structures down to 2. The KSTP building over on Highway 61, which is technically Maplewood Drive, and the other one is the Forest Lawn Memorial Park Mausoleum. Where we left off was I was going to reach out to KSTP to see what interest they had in us exploring the designation. Unfortunately, I've reached out to them multiple times and have not heard anything back. The other place where we were was Forest Lawn, because Chair Cardinal is also on their board. He was going to reach out to see what their interest was. So, Chair Cardinal, have you heard anything more?
Yes, we have not had our quarterly meeting yet. We're going to have that on July 23rd. When we had our meeting here at the City Council, or City Heritage Preservation Commission, it was right after our first quarterly meeting for the Forest Lawn Memorial Park. So I passed out, Joe, you get one of these too? This bylaws of the Forest Lawn Memorial Park. You can just kind of page through this for a moment. Bylaws, governance, duties, and rules of meetings, and then the participants on the board for Forest Lawn. So we didn't have that meeting yet, but I did talk with the superintendent. His name is Pat Hogan. He's been the superintendent of the cemetery there for 15, 20 years. And he and I talked a little bit about this. Our board has not talked about this, but he and I did, and some of the questions that came up between he and I were, what are the benefits to be a historic designation? And is there money available for renovations or anything like that with changes that would be made? And so we didn't have a full discussion, but he and I did review this a little bit. I have nothing to tell you other than that. I want you to look at these bylaws and get familiar with this, but I don't think we want to take any action right now. Any questions? Anyone? John?
Is it open for people to go and take a look at it?
Yes,
Hours?
yes. So that cemetery is open 24 hours a day. Used to be that they'd lock the gates, but now they're open because it's better than having them vandalize or do something improper. So the gates are open all the time. You can drive through there. A lot of people go in and out of that cemetery. And the mausoleum is open, so you
Okay.
can go in there. I'd suggest, working hours, not at night,
Yeah.
but it is open. The cemetery is a nonprofit, so it's not a for-profit cemetery. So, and a lot of cremations are done there in the mausoleum. The cremations have gone up to now it's like 60-70% of the deaths and services are with cremation. So The burying vaults are a lot less, so that, you know, people get their ashes. The Hmong community is very active at Forest Lawn. If you drive by there, you'd see a lot of memorials that are black in color. And it's a preferred burial site for different reasons, but on Edgerton, as you go up and down Edgerton, you can see them that it's slanted, so they like the slant, the rolling hills, and a lot of Hmong are buried there at Forest Lawn, and I sign all the purchases, letters, and most of the burials now are Hmong. I'd say very significant. They're choosing that cemetery.
Is that only on that one hill?
No, they're all over. They're all over.
Up where I am and my dad is, it's all basically our neighbors.
Yes, yeah, a lot of
They
neighbors.
just move us across the street.
Yep. So I don't have anything, I'm not encouraged by,
He didn't catch that.
I'm not encouraged in the sense of wanting to move this forward. So that's what I'd say right now. Pete?
Can I show something on the overhead?
We're gonna need the overhead camera, not the, yeah. You probably gotta do it the other way. There you go.
There we go. So I can run back there.
That's good, you got it.
Very nice. Thank you, Pete.
Can we zoom in just a hair, please?
So this is on page 26 of the, what is it, the context study. And there's things in here I didn't know about. Do you think I've read it all, right? So this is the oldest mausoleum west of Milwaukee, and the oldest one in the state. So there's definitely national historical register potential on this site. And it's amazing. I would recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, to go in there, and it is a work of art on the inside and outside. So, and it's not full yet, right? There's still space available. So, which is amazing. It's been there since 1917, and it's not full. So, it's very interesting. So anyway, I thought the KSTV building's in there too, so we could flip to that one when you get to that part. So just in case people want the details, I got it marked in there for the next one.
Back that up too, of you saying it, eligibility. I think SHPO has already determined it to be eligible to the National Register. I think that's already gotten that far. And I know you were saying there were questions about tax incentives, and if you were to get the mausoleum listed on the National Register, there are tax breaks for that, which actually at the upcoming Preserve MN conference, there's going to be a talk specifically about tax incentives for both local designation and National Register designation. And local designation does not prevent you from doing anything. It's really just saying, this is cool. It's the National Register that would prevent you from probably doing the things that you're concerned with, having those restrictions. But that's also the level where the tax breaks come in handy.
So we're not concerned about tax breaks because it's a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
So that wouldn't be important to us.
Oh, okay, I thought you said there was a question about taxes, but
But you
No,
would need some kind of designation to get
to get that. Yeah.
grants.
You also, yes, grants and tax incentives. Yep.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I just, if you could flip back, I'm curious to see, I actually love
26.
cemetery architecture, and do you know who the architect was for the mausoleum?
Or,
Okay, I'm just trying, yeah, maybe it's on this page.
maybe in the 50 stories book?
I'm just curious.
There was, at our last meeting when we were pulling these, I have the full reports from
Yeah.
SHPO that tells you who the architects
Yeah.
were for both of them.
Nice.
So I could I don't have them in front of me right now. I can pull them
I
up.
have it on the database I'll be showing later.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's actually where I pulled it from, is your Minship database is where I found this stuff.
Okay, good. So I think we want to move on to, are we going to talk about KSTP more? Building?
Other than what we talked about last week, there's nothing more to add on the
Okay.
KSTP piece.
Okay.
Did you want to go back to the page you had in the context, or?
Yeah. In case anybody wants to see what, there's little extra tidbits there. What was there before was a sand pit, so that was kind of interesting. I can't remember the name, it's in there, which sand pit it is, and it's pretty much exactly how it was when they built it, which is amazing, that it's been there that long and it's intact and looks the same. And there isn't much left on 61 that looks like that anymore. Don't know if there's anything else in Maplewood that's still like that. No, that's about it. I think that's all that's left. The Pink Castle's still there, but the little houses are gone north of Angus Meats. So
Okay.
All right. Moving on the agenda, there are no demo permits. The other piece, to Chair Gasper's point, you had mentioned earlier about and you had served as one of the members on the advisory committee for the McCarran's water plant. They're actually nearing completion of construction on the new water plant. In fact, the Ramsey County League of Local Governments is going to be touring that water plant tomorrow. Our photography team will be there to get photos and video of the new plant. Obviously, they unfortunately had to take down parts of the historic parts of the plant to make way for the new plant. But that's an update that we have on that for the commission. The other piece that we wanted to bring your attention to is the Minnesota, it's Preserve Minnesota. It's the annual conference that we have. It's going to be in New Ulm this year. The conference is, and if we could have this up on the overhead, please, the laptop. Thank you very much. So as I sent out last week, this link, unfortunately, it wasn't available for the time when we sent out the packet, but it just became available yesterday. Preserve Minnesota is having their 2025 conference in New Ulm, September 10th through the 12th. As you know, as part of our SHPO status, at least one of us has to attend. So I would ask that, I sent you a link to this yesterday, so please read through the link, look at what's there, if it's of importance to you, if it's something you want to explore, if you have the time. Anyone who's I believe almost everyone's attended at least one of these conferences in the past. They're super informative, really interesting. If you're a history buff and or are interested in these things, they help move our agenda along, and they're really important to do. The one thing I'm not sure of this year is usually the Department of the Interior makes scholarships available to cover the cost of the event and also to cover the cost of the hotel. I'm not sure if those are available this year. I have not heard back from the SHPO folks. So as soon as I find out about that, I will let you know. With that, without having the scholarships, the city would probably limit the number of people that it would pay for this. So I'll keep everyone up to date on that. But please let me know between now and the beginning of August, because the hotel block expires early in August.
So Joe, why don't we take a read of that right now? Pete, would you be going, or would you consider it? No? Okay, Richard, would you like to go?
I'd like to, but I have animals that I have to take care of.
Okay. John?
It's possible, but unlikely.
Okay, so
I-
we need one or two.
Yeah.
So, I'll consider that, Joe.
Okay.
I'm planning to go,
Okay.
but I'll be getting my cost covered through work, so it doesn't have to.
And I'm looking at schedule right now to arrange so that I can be there as well.
Okay, and then Dave has gone in the past, so he might want to go too.
Yeah.
So there might be four of us possible. Okay?
Okay.
That'd be good. All right, thanks, Joe.
How far is New Ulm from here?
New Ulm's about a 2 hour, or from this side of the metro, yeah, it's about a 2.5 hour drive, depending on how you get there. I was actually just in New Ulm 2 weeks ago for a baseball tournament. It's a really fun town. There's a ton to see. It's probably something you could do in about a day and a half. And believe it or not, they have the Minnesota Musical Museum, or the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame is in New Ulm at one of their old sites. It is interesting to see some of the placards that they had put up in the mid-1960s have not aged very well in recent years, especially when it comes to our relation, the state's relation with Native Americans. But it's an interesting place, and it does carry a lot of history. So it's a good location for this event.
Joe, did you get to the music museum?
I did not. No, I was, like I said, between baseball games. I walked by it. It was a $7 fee, and I figured I could figure it out with a quick Google search if it was worth it or not.
Okay. Might want to see if Bob Dylan's in there.
Possibly, yeah. I know they have one of the Prince's guitars outside.
Prince,
so.
too. Yes. Wow.
And they have Herman the German. It's a cool. And I found out this is another interesting tidbit. So I don't know. Does anybody know the history of Herman the German? No. So Herman the German was a warrior who defended his German town against the Romans back in like 9 AD, and this town had erected a statue of him at the highest point in this town in Germany. And so the Germans from that town, they came and immigrated in New Ulm, and when they did, they decided to re-erect or replicate the statue at the highest point of New Ulm. So that was pretty interesting.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
I think New Ulm also had a prisoner of war camp
Yeah.
with Germany, yeah. Or not Germany, but Japanese. When that went through.
And I know that area, again, the history of that area is where not the current Department of Public Safety, but they had during World War I, they had what was known as the Department of Public Safety that essentially kept an eye on German immigrants to ensure there'd be no uprising.
Very, very good. Thanks for sharing all that. Okay. We'll move on to the Maplewood Area Historical Society update.
Usually Commissioner Hughes provides this. Since he's not here, I know out at the Burnship Heritage Farm, they had a Civil War Day, and now they're currently having their farmers market every Sunday from, I believe, 9 to 1. So those are the two updates that we know of.
Okay.
Well, I think in August, they are having their membership annual meeting. And Saturday, I think it's Saturday, they're having a picnic there for whoever. They're trying to get money.
Okay, as Richard indicated, the 2025 Maplewood Area Historical Society annual meeting agenda was mailed out just last week, and that is going to be on Sunday. So this would be the Maplewood Area Historical Society annual meeting, Sunday, August 24th, and that would be at 5 o'clock. There'd be refreshments and tours of the farm at 4 o'clock. So that's Sunday, August 24th. Okay, we'll move on to unfinished business and mapping potentially historic structures. And Laura, were you? Yeah, there you go.
So Laura's going to fire up the computer, and then once we plug in.
What?
And then we'll need the HDMI input again, please. Thank you.
I'm not a member. I was a member.
Okay, so to fill in our new guests today, I assume you haven't heard anything about this project, but the idea is I'd like to bring an example. I'm trying to model a sort of web viewer through GIS that other historic and heritage preservation commissions have done in their cities to show what the local historic structures are. Most of the time, it's going to be things that are on the local designation list or National Register eligible or listed. City of Minneapolis has a really good example that if I was connected to the internet and I knew you'd be here, I would have up for you. But the idea is it has them all mapped out, and then you can click on each point and it gives you more information about that structure, maybe a picture, some articles, things you can kind of dig deeper into to learn more about it. And so for Maplewood, we have quite a lot of inventoried historic structures, both at the State Historic Preservation Office and at our local historical society that previous commissioners have inventoried in their own way. So this started as just trying to coalesce all of the different historic structure data that we have in different pockets, partly from different commissioners that have their own data in their own places, and then the Historical Society, in the Maplewood Area Historical Society, and the State Historical Society. There's just like different pockets everywhere. So the idea was to pull it all into one big list. So the one big list gets us all of these points that are up when it's all coalesced together. So this kind of shows the whole universe of objects, of what we have inventoried at least for historic structures. We know there's more, partly because what we consider a historic structure means it has to be at least 50 years of age or older when we're considering things like eligibility to the National Register or for local designation. And so the last survey we did, I think, was like, well, there was one for the Purple Line in like 2021, something like that. But that was down just the Purple Line corridor. You know, we haven't done a statewide review or a citywide review ever. It's always been little pockets of survey, which actually, do I have them up in here? Previous surveys. So official architectural surveys have mapped in just so we have a record of what's been officially surveyed as part of formal surveys that the SHPO is aware of. We've also done more informal surveys through the commission, which I don't have maps for of exactly what was covered, so I don't have them in here. But these polygons show what architectural historians have reviewed. So I think this one over here would have been for Purple Line. 2020 here, the big blue block in the middle. And then various others, usually for like roadway improvements, other bus lines, things like that going through. That's why they're often so linear. So officially, these are the only like formal architecture history reviews that we've done, these polygons. The commission has gathered various bits of data over time in no like big formal survey. There was a large photography collection that you guys pulled together, but we haven't like gone through the whole city and gone, yep, these things are old enough, let's go through and gather all the data we have, like as one cohesive thing. So basically this is a patchwork of all sorts of different projects people have done. So we could do a more recent survey just to catch all the new structures that are now 50 years of age or older that could now be potentially eligible to the National Register. It's something that as a Historic Preservation Commission we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be doing surveys like every 5 to 10 years to catch these new structures that are starting to get into this age category. So we haven't, as a commission, been able to do that in a while. That takes funding to be able to do it. So we've just been relying on things that are happening for other outside projects like Purple Line and gathering that data as we can. So anyway, all the points here are what we currently have on inventory for historic structures. What we're doing for the web viewer, obviously, this is a lot of information. A lot of the stuff gathered from Purple Line is stuff from like 70s, 80s, which is less interesting for the origins of Maplewood as Maplewood. So what we tried to do as a commission is narrow down to what would be most interesting and representative of the character of the city, how it started as a city, what was going on before we were technically Maplewood, before we were incorporated, when we had New Canada and Gladstone, and then we have Maplewood, trying to pull those pieces in. What were the bits of character that helped it develop, what led to incorporation, what has helped develop commerce, and then we have a new diverse population that's coming in as well. It's not all about the European settlement history at this point. We have a whole other sets of people that are coming in and characterizing what Maplewood is. So we kind of developed a list of like trying to get about 20-ish structures, so it's not overwhelming, and it also is emblematic of the kind of cool stuff we have in a city that people aren't necessarily aware of until we point it out. So we narrowed it down, and that's what we have in this list. I'll get rid of the polygons here. It's what we kind of, at the last meeting I was at least, I missed the previous one for fieldwork, but we kind of narrowed it down to about 23. There's 23 on the list that we have in here. You could definitely make arguments for other ones, but I basically said we need to have a finite number. We could go on forever. We have to pick a number and stick with it. And these are the ones
Laura,
that,
could you highlight those 23 very quickly?
right, so these are the points that are up currently. The ones you can see are the 23 on that list.
Could you
And we will
highlight
go
them
into them in greater detail.
and mention them so that the viewers or anybody would know those 23?
Correct. I will go into that in detail.
all
I'm
right,
still just giving them the development of the project and where we're going with it. But yeah, so these are the 23. The characters, I wish I had my notes in front of me. I wasn't prepared to give you the whole background on it. But the idea is to hit things like early history, like why was the area settled? And then we go into why did we incorporate? So we have things like the 3M campus. People migrated here heavily to work for 3M. And so that's why the population got large enough to be able to incorporate. And then we start going into other things that made us a character of a city, things like commerce. We have Maplewood Mall in here, recreation. We've got things like Aldrich Arena, St. Paul Ski Club, the things that kind of have helped characterize how and why Maplewood is what we are today. So now we can dig more into the structures we landed on. And I'm gonna have some questions for input, because I'm basically doing this as a run through you guys to see what do you think of what we have. I need some extra information from you guys that I'm missing. I'm hoping some of you can help provide. And also input on, like, do we wanna add more fields into the pop-ups for the web viewer? Do we wanna add less? And so I'll go through those questions after we go over what's in here. But the list is kind of like a spreadsheet down here. But this is all what's in there. So the names in this column that we discussed last time. I did make one switch that I'll talk about and why, and then you can argue back at me about whether I should change it back. But I'll give you can you read it well enough? Is it too small? I can make it bigger.
It's readable, it's readable.
Okay. It's alphabetical, just for reference. But I'll give you a sec to be able to read through it. But we went all through this before.
Is that list available online?
No, this is what we're going to create to put online.
Okay.
Yep, that's the point of this. Yeah. And it's going to be in this map version. And then we're at the end.
Thank you, Laura. That's good.
Is anyone still reading? Looks like everyone's done reading. Okay. Okay, so all of these are displayed on the map. And I'm not connected to the internet right now, so the base map, the actual map background is not loading in. But on the web viewer, you're gonna have an actual map, like Google Maps, so you can see what the roads are and all that stuff. Right now, it's just showing basically a hill shade of topography. But we've got the Maplewood City outline for people's reference, and then everything in their location. So we went for a pretty good geographic spread, I think. We've got something in almost every corner, except maybe this is a bit empty. But we fill out the hatchet, mostly. Obviously, most of it's pretty concentrated in the plate of the hatchet. But otherwise, what people are going to be able to interact with beyond just looking at this is you can click on each point. So like Schroeder Dairy, for instance. This is the information I've included. I tried to keep it succinct but informative. And then people can link to, for instance, the 60 Stories page that's on the website, which we can look at quickly. Then I have other articles and like the local registration form linked to this, so people can open up the forms from the web viewer and read it. And same we've got like an article from RCHS attached about the history of Schroeder Dairy. And we have the link to 60 Stories people can pop over to. I'm not on the internet, but we'd be going to that. And then Pete, when you have, this would be an example. Actually, I already had it up when I came here. So you'd be going to this page, and for instance, Pete, when we do have that timeline developed, and ideally up on the website, we could be interlinking. So we could link to the timeline can link to the map. The idea is to make everything supplement each other. So like this is helping supplement 60 stories supplements the map, because most of the structures in the web viewer are linked on 60 stories. So they've got some connection to that. So most all of this will feed back into what we already have on the website. So it's kind of meant to all support each other, beef it all up, make it more engaging, more interesting, more interactive. Because at least for me, I think very geographically, I can read a story, but I don't know, I need to see a map. I want to see where it is it in relation to the rest of the city and the rest of the stuff we're talking about in 60 stories. And I know the physical version of the book comes with a map, but most people are looking at the website if they're going to be reading this. So I think this helps kind of pull it all together. The last things I need to do just to make this really clean and really as interactive as possible is I can attach an image to the pop-up. So when the pop-up pops up, they can see a picture of the property. You could do multiple, but I think I'm just going to stick with one because it could be overwhelming. And then I'm going to write a short paragraph description for each one. So they can just read a little bit about what is this property, why is it here, what's the background. So just real brief description so they don't have to go to all the links if they don't want to. So that's where it's at. Once I have the description and photo up, I think basically this is a ready product to work on getting up on the website. It's fully functional. But there are other ways that we can continue to improve it, and that's where my list of questions now comes in for everybody else. Partly, actually, before I dig into that, I made one change because I didn't have enough information, and I guess this is kind of a question for you, Richard. Last time when we were talking about the list, you mentioned that Little's Farm would be good to add for part of the agricultural context for Maplewood history.
813.
Yeah, 813 Arcade is what you told me, but I can't find it.
No, it's actually County Road B. There's two houses up there.
Yeah, well, you told me County B and 61.
Contact for-
Richard, it's not 61.
Contact
Arcade.
study, the picture that they have, they only took one of the houses. 813 was Little's house. There was another house in front of him that Cecil owned that he rented out that I think burned down or got tore down. And I went by there the other day, and the roof on the barn is starting to come off. And I won't go into that because that's a long story. But yeah, it's,
He answered your question.
it used to be Dr. Worth's summer house. And then Cecil's dad bought it for his brother Austin when Austin died, and they sold the 710 County Road B. Cecil and his brother Percy moved over to this other house, to the 813.
When
Okay,
you
but
say
I can't find
813, is that 813 Arcade, 1813?
No, it's B.
County Road B.
Okay, so last time you said 813 Arcade, that doesn't exist, so I couldn't find it. And then County B and Arcade, there's a bunch of houses there, and I couldn't figure out which one
Well,
was supposed to
there's
be.
all, the houses up B, there was Anderson's when Cecil was around. There was Hitchcock, Thatcher's.
Since you know since you're talking about the barn itself, and it's still, the structure's still there,
Right.
so do you believe it's 18, because that's what she's trying to figure out so we can map it.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
can't put it.
813 County Road B, and she said
13 County Road B.
Okay.
You go up to one driveway, and the first house,
Is it set back off the road so it's tough to see?
right,
Probably
that
was
was,
in
that
trees.
was the one that got lost, or
Okay.
I don't know what, it caught on fire supposedly.
Okay, so this is going to be, well, actually, also more context for our guests. This version is focusing on extant standing structures, or at least maybe recently will not be standing. New Canada Town Hall is on here. And then we're going to try and work on a kind of update version in the future of non-extant. So things like the past of Maplewood that we can't see today, but we're trying to highlight, like, hey, just so you know, this cool building used to be here that highlights this cool history. So that'll be a different layer that we'll work on developing, basically, what's going to be on that list and add it to here. So currently it's just standing stuff. So if for instance, that building is burned down, I can't map it for this purpose, but we could add it to the non-extant list.
But I don't think they ever took the other house. They saw one number and that's what they put on.
And then you said it's in the historic context study, because I could find it there then.
Yeah, it's in the
Okay.
contact study.
So then what I did, because I couldn't find that, but then as I was going through and gathering the info to pull into this, I did notice, and I don't know why I didn't notice before, but Moose Lodge 963 is right by the Gladstone Savannah Preserve, still standing, and also is already determined eligible for the National Register by SHPO. So that means it is one of the most prominent, what am I trying to say, significant historic properties in Maplewood, according to the State Historic Preservation Office. So this also could go on our list of things we could try and nominate for National Register, because SHPO already agreed it is eligible. And this is actually also feeds into bringing more diversity into highlighting what we're highlighting in Maplewood history and not just European settlement. So Moose Lodge 963 also played a large role in the Maplewood, I forgot the name of it, Human Rights Commission, I believe, yeah, Human Rights Commission, for part of the civil rights movement for African Americans in Maplewood. So that's actually why it's eligible for the National Register, is having that association with the Maplewood HRC.
Because when you go down Arcade, when you hit that kind of loop there where there's a pond right next to Arcade, that used to be Lubin's house. That was supposed to be turned into a sculpture garden and open space. And when they put our storm sewer through, that's where they ran the storm sewer.
Yeah, now I know I can reference the historic context study for that, so that helps. Okay, so that was the one thing I added, but I did not run it by the commission before I added it. So I'm basically running it by you guys now. Any arguments against including the Moose Lodge in the mapping here?
Laura, one thing is, maybe Joe or Mr. Darrow can address, is that building going to be torn down, or?
The Moose Lodge is gone.
Oh, it's gone.
That's
Oh,
been
it
going.
is currently gone.
Yeah, the Moose
Okay.
Lodge. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Does it matter? The Moose Lodge had been taken down about 3 months ago. It was taken down in May.
Oh, okay.
Well, that would be an argument. Yep.
Yeah,
And
so that's kind of what we're running into. And again, I don't want to get too deep into this. That's what we're running into in the city with the Heritage Preservation Commission versus sort of future economic development. Some of the pieces and the parcels that are out there are so far gone that they're tough to put back in place and resell.
Okay.
Other ones are, it's a determination of what do we want to save because economic development and growth are kind of
the
driving.
Gladstone House is
Yeah.
coming down.
Yeah,
And the
it was not in
Gladstone
great
House
shape.
as well is coming down as well. That's already got,
I was just going to say, this is really fascinating stuff, and the potential here is to, and this is kind of going back to the collaboration and kind of working with these commissions and boards, is it's really imperative to, and I don't know if you've done this just voluntarily. It's really good, so kudos to you. The story that this represents is important as we look at things from multiple lenses. And so I was thinking as you were discussing this, how important like a lunch and learn would be for our staff, beyond just Joe, but community development and parks, and just so we all collectively understand the history, because we oftentimes will look at things through, one or two or three lenses, but this is such a really fascinating approach to seeing this and kind of seeing, the history of these types of things. So I would invite you, when you complete this, to, if you're interested in doing a lunch and learn, that would be a benefit to everybody here.
Well, this version of the database basically it has everything that we know of mapped in. This also has all that information attached. And so the idea was to basically, and I think I've already sent a version of this to Joe as part of like the city archives, basically, of just having this database available. And so the idea is it has all this information incorporated as well as all the attachments of what we have. So this is kind of like the full grand version, designed to both inform the commission and be kind of like the database for the city. So you have this information at hand. So when you are looking into, are we demolishing this structure, you could pull this up like, oh, do we have it listed? You know, is it already eligible? Like, you have that information at hand before it would even have to go through the commission. Like, it's all in front of you. And I know Commissioner Hughes has been working on data collection for structures that we don't have in here yet. He's basically using, he's been driving around and doing Google Earth, a kind of an informal survey of gathering more information on stuff that isn't already in here. So we're kind of gonna keep adding to that. But that's kind of the idea of this, is knowing our full universe of objects, what's the information behind it, and to help inform both commission and city decisions as we actually kind of finalize it. But
Laura, could you hone down to that 741 County Road B and share what you have on that?
741 County
Yeah,
B?
I think it's over a little bit to the,
I don't know, without the map being up?
yeah, just over to the left of that,
Okay,
right there. Yeah.
this one?
Yes. Could you just hone down 1875 structure? Is it still there?
Present, no, that's the form. I do have,
House.
Standing, yeah. It says status
Status.
standing.
It says,
and I checked all this against most recent satellite imagery when I put in that status as of like 2 years ago. So if it was
so
standing 2
it would
years ago,
still
it's
be
up to
there?
date.
It would still be there then?
If nothing's happened to it in 2 years, which I don't know for sure if it has or not. And
Rick, do you know where
can't
that
check
is?
right now.
They tore Lubin's house down.
You know, this was, look at the address, 741 East County Road B. This is right next to the
Farm?
little farm, yes.
Oh, that was Gramsci's. Gramsci's house, it's right next,
This one right here.
Yeah, the house is still there.
yeah.
So, according to the current mapping on Google, there is a home that is still, there's a structure that is still there. It's set back off the road, but because it's set so far back off the road, you can only see the roof.
Yeah.
You can't see the,
It's
They
next
put
to that,
another house back in there, that's Gramsci.
yeah.
And
That's
that
right.
family, if you go out to, was it Vadnais Heights, the Gramsci Road, that's what that road is named after.
So that would be right next to the little farm.
Right.
And on the other side of the church, so to be on the west side of the
The
Methodist church.
church used to be part of Cecil's farm. I have good stories on that one.
to keep the meeting on schedule, what I would say is we could hold off this conversation until the end. Commissioner Koski had some very specific questions for us, and
Yes.
if we could let her get back to our questions, that would help move things along.
Phil must have a,
So this
party
is
to go
where
to.
I need to lean on commission knowledge, and maybe it's in this context study, and I totally forgot to check the context study for some of these questions. The St. Paul Ski Club, I can't find it. Where is it?
The St. Paul what?
The St. Paul Ski Club, it seems to be, nothing is still standing for that. It's supposed to be over here.
I thought the St. Paul Ski Club was far in the far south leg of the city.
It's the ski jump.
That's
Is
the
it still
ski
there?
jump. Yeah, the ski jump is still there, and there is a St. Paul Ski Club that's there. So right where the finger is, that's basically where it is.
Okay.
It kind of cuts into Fish Lake Preserve.
Got it.
So if you it's only
yeah, it's just north of Fish Lake.
Because we actually, it's not inventoried with SHPO, and I can't find any local inventory forms
I think it's in the inventory.
in the historic context study. Then I can pull something from there. But it's mentioned in 60 stories, but not where it is. Yeah, it's discussed.
It says one of the pages.
Yeah.
You still see it perfect, but then the trees got so big you can't see it anymore.
Right, like there's a story in 60 stories, I just don't know where to put it. So that helps me pinpoint it better.
On the freeway, you can see it too.
It's
Okay.
technically the address for it is 1210 Sterling Street South.
Thank you. I do have a digital copy of the context
Yeah,
study, so I can check that.
1210 Sterling Street South is where it is. Here.
All right, so that's one question. We talked about Little's Farm. And when it comes to,
I have an address for Little's Farm if you want. Or the one that we're trying to figure out, that corner, 811 County Road B.
811,
Yeah.
maybe. Where'd you get that?
Yeah, 811.
I just looked it up on Google. I just know what it looks like.
Okay.
I drive by it every
I
day,
could-
so.
Okay, so my next question was, so this is the information that's going to show up in the pop-up. I kind of thought this was as informative yet succinct as needed. Obviously, I still have to fill in the description and add a photo for each one. Is there anything you think we should need to add to this that I don't have in here? Anything else informative?
No, it's fine. What you have is good.
Joe says it's good, so it's good, right? You're all good? Okay, it's good. Then, Pete, I had a question for you. I know you wrote like a book on Gladstone history. Is there a digital copy I could use to attach to the Gladstone features?
I could scan and, only a scan. It's,
Like a
you know,
scanned
Yeah, I
version?
could do that. I don't have a digital.
If you could
Did you,
scan it for me.
where's your original script?
It's
Well,
cut
did-
and paste and.
Oh, you didn't type it? Like
well,
you didn't type
is-
it on the computer
It
somewhere?
is typed.
But it's old school typed on a typewriter?
Yeah, I could scan a copy and get it to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you could do that, then I could
do that.
attach it to like the Gladstone Savannah, the Gladstone Community Center. Is that still standing? That's
The
one
Gladstone
thing.
Community Center is still there. It's owned by District 622.
Yeah.
It's actually a senior and early
Yeah,
early
and
childhood.
Is the Canada Town Hall still up or
That
not at
is
this
in the
point?
process of being
That's gonna be
demolished.
demolished.
Yeah,
I've
it's-
heard
it's in
that
pretty
for
bad
about 10
disrepair.
years, though.
That's what I keep seeing that, but it's
There
never
is
actually
there is
built.
a development that is in there that is waiting for financing. So it's I believe a 40-unit multi-family living complex that's going to go there, but they're waiting because of the nature of it. They're waiting for outside financing, so it might take a while. The other piece that I would suggest is when you're to the Gladstone, if the Gladstone Savannah Preserve, if we could just pull that up real quick. I'm sorry, we just highlight. Thanks. The one thing that we do have on there is we have a video on the history of that features our former commissioner there that the city had done a couple of years ago.
We could link to that.
So we could,
Yeah.
the video is on YouTube, so we could link to that. I could send you the link.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Okay, just making a note. And then, yeah, if you can scan that in and send that, then I can attach it to the Gladstone features, and I think that'd be a great attachment to have.
Yeah.
Or we could, that's something that we could put on the HPC website.
We also have on the mosque, again, I don't know if you need, while there are exteriors, we also have actual photos of people at a community gathering in the mosque. It's not a religious ceremony, but it's a sort of an informal meet and greet if you wanted to have that kind of photo.
Actually,
with
I
that.
do also have a list of things where they're in this, but I don't have anything to attach to it, like articles, photos.
Yeah, if you
for-
have anything you need, let me know.
Okay, yeah, can I would like to send a list
Yeah.
of
Well,
things I still need to.
Yeah, if there's, especially photos, we could either go take them or figure it out. The one thing that I would be careful of is Aldridge. The county is in the process of cleaning up the outside. So the historic 1950 style, I think, might go away,
Changing a little bit?
which is actually, again, it's probably a good, it's probably a good thing. But the interior of that place is amazing.
Okay, and then I was gonna ask Commissioner Cardinal, for Forest Lawn Mausoleum, we have that in here. Would you have anything of interest to attach? I have the SHPO inventory forms with some photos, but are there, do you think, like good historic articles, other good photographs that you think would be beneficial to be adding to this?
Laura, there could be, I'll ask them.
Okay,
Actually, all the burials, all the records are still in the building, the office, with the burials back to, I think it's 1893. So that would be important. I'll
Yeah.
ask them.
if you think you have anything that would be worth adding for the general population of Maplewood. like good articles and stuff like that. I think that'd be great to attach here. And I think that loops up all my questions. The only things I have left are basically I need a little bit of information, things like if people have ideas for good attachments for some other properties. I just don't have anything to attach. Like we don't have any forms, neither SHPO nor local forms. So maybe now that I remember the context study, I can pull some stuff from there for some of these as well. But if that's okay, could I send a list, including you and the rest of the commission, of like, do you have stuff I could filter in for these items? So that would be what I would do next. But in the meantime, I think if this looks good to you guys of what's in here, what's in, with the pop-up forms, what's in the list of stuff on here, I think this is basically in a good place.
Just one more thing that I'm thinking of, and I don't think you were at this meeting, but the Plaza Theater, right? Is that what you had brought to our attention the last time around? Was that the Plaza Theater or a different theater? The last meeting, you had showed us a bunch of pictures of a movie theater, but I don't know if it was the Plaza or a different movie theater.
It might be the drive-in.
No, this was an actual old school movie theater. Like, not an old school, but like one you'd see in the 90s.
Oh, it'd be. Oh, Maplewood 1 and 2.
Yeah, that
Oh.
wasn't the Plaza. That was a different one.
No, that was up by Maplewood Mall.
All right,
Yep,
never mind.
Yep.
The Plaza's an
I
example.
think this is, you're doing a real good job. Now, you only have to catch up by about 50 years.
Now we can do the
I think
next
she's
bit.
I think she's done a plenty good job, and this is in really good shape. And other than her last couple of tweaks, I don't think we belabor this anymore. We work with ArcGIS to get this on our website.
Yeah.
And
I
call
think
it
this
good.
version is functional and useful, and then we can add updates as we're able to get more attachments and links and stuff for whatever. And then I think the last thing I had was currently I have this symbolized kind of as a fluctuation of color by decade, just to show like oldest to newest visually where it clumps. Any other ideas for better ways to symbolize it online? This is just kind of, for me, I like to see like where the old things concentrate versus the newer things and how that moves throughout the city. But
I think if you leave the key there and the colors correspond with the dates.
yeah, that would be available up on
Yeah,
the
that would
website.
make the most sense. No, this is an excellent, and I wanted to let not commissioner, but both our city council member and assistant city manager Darrow. We didn't. Laura took this upon herself to do. She took the deep dive. She did all the work. She coordinated with other commission members. Also, Commissioner Hughes has taken the deep dive in this in a couple of places too. And we would not have this. We would not have this repository if it wasn't for her work.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Excellent. Very,
Chair.
very excellent.
Mr. Chair, can I just make a quick comment? I just wanted to say thanks to Commissioner, Mr. Chair. That was a really cool presentation, and I'm super excited to see that on our website. So I think it'll be good to get in there to really see the pieces of Maplewood and how our city has come together to what it is today. So thank you for putting that together. I was very impressed by that. So, yeah.
Yeah, excellent, beautiful. Okay, now we'll look at visitor presentations. Do we have any?
Sean Berry or Council Member Lee, since you are here, is there anything you'd like to say or add?
No, I just want to say thanks to all of our commissioners and Mr. Chair, all of you for serving on our commission. The work that you do are truly it's important, and as Assistant City Manager mentioned earlier, it's a nice evening. You'd rather be outside at the park with families, and you're all here to move our city forward. Thank you for the work that you all are doing. As a history junkie myself, hearing this is candy to my ears, so I'm super excited to be a part of this process and to hear the great conversations that you guys were having to preserve our history here. I think one last piece is, our, Commissioner, you mentioned earlier that our city is changing. I like to potentially see this piece come together and looking at the demographics of our city, how that has also changed, because Maplewood is not what it used to be many years ago. So seeing that also tells a story about how our city is what it is today. So I think that's something maybe for the future. But to see this on our website and looking at the 60 stories, all the pieces are coming together. I actually just found the Mid-Val. I live in the Mid-Val community and just found a story on that as you guys were talking about the 60 stories. I'm like, wow, this is really fascinating. So thank you for all the work that you guys are all doing. It is truly important for the city of Maplewood. So.
Thank you, Councilmember. Also, Assistant Manager Darrell, thank you for coming and listening to us and asking questions and getting feedback. That hasn't happened in the past, so it's the first. So thank you for doing that. And we thank Joe for being our staff member. Joe's doing a great job, Joe Sharon. Anything more? Anyone?
I got one quick thing.
Pete?
So in case you want to learn more about drive-ins in Maplewood, it's out, the Ramsey County magazine. Here's one for the city, so you guys can pass it along there. And there also, Janice Quick, if you remember Janice Quick from the Maplewood Historical Society, has a neat article on hats in there too. Old hats, the big hats, so kind of fun.
Talking about Ramsey County Historical Society, who went to the last meeting?
I think that's rotating right now. I don't know, who is our designated person, Joe?
Well, it's Commissioner Gasper. Or Hughes.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, get,
Yes, you are. So we'll get that
yeah,
magazine
get
to
that
you.
magazine so I know.
Get that
The
magazine.
city does get a copy of the magazine. Ours hasn't come in yet, but yeah, the city does get a copy.
So John Gasper is our rep on the Ramsey County Historical Society. Okay, thank you. Anything further? Anyone?
I move for adjournment.
Or adjourn?